Are we roommates or soulmates? What to do if you're drifting apart, how to recognize it, and what can we do about it? I think it's one of the most heartbreaking realizations in a relationship that we're together, we're married, we're deeply in love. At least we were. But now we're waking up next to each other, and I'm wondering, who in the heck are you?
Here's a question for you. Is marriage overrated?
Why aren't people getting married anymore?
A new Pew Research poll found that 2 in 5 young adults think marriage is an outdated tradition.
Marriage rates are at their lowest right now.
Is marriage really even worth it?
More than half of marriages end in divorce.
If you get married, you have to be stuck with this person for the rest of your life, right? That's why you get married. So that's why it's declining. Why would you get married if you want to have just one partner when you can have multiple?
Marriage is stupid.
Welcome to the Married AF podcast, the self-proclaimed greatest marriage relationship podcast in the world. We're your hosts, Matthew and Monica Powers. Hey, beautiful.
Hey, handsome.
You look stunning today.
Thank you.
Absolutely stunning.
You're sweet.
I do my best. The very, very best that I possibly can. So, are you ready?
Sure.
I hope so. I hope that you're ready because we've got a topic that I think is probably, unfortunately, too relatable for too many people.
Lean forward.
What I have on my head.
I don't know. It's still there.
Well,
It's not coming off.
maybe it's just my skin. Maybe it's just what's there. Topic today is not about the weird things that are on top of my head. Maybe we can touch on that sometime, but not today.
My bad.
Today is a topic that I think too many people will relate to. They don't want to relate to it. They hate the idea of relating to it. They probably don't want to admit that they relate to it.
Okay.
But it's the big question.
Do we relate to it?
We have a sense in the past. I mean, it has happened.
Okay.
Now, not even close.
Okay.
Like furthest thing in the way from it at all.
Like BC for us? Like before Christ?
I mean, yeah, possibly in a way. And there have been times maybe early on where we ran through this. But the question is, are we roommates or soulmates? What to do if you're drifting apart, how to recognize it, and what can we do about it? I think it's one of the most heartbreaking realizations in a relationship that we're together, we're married, we're deeply in love. At least we were. But now we're waking up next to each other, and I'm wondering, who in the heck are you?
Yep.
What has happened? What is going on? And you feel like, we sleep next to each other, we're married to each other, but I feel like you are on the other side of town. I feel like we are just miles and miles apart, nowhere near each other, not even on the same page, not in the same book, not even the same category of books. I mean, just could not be furthest from the truth.
We've been there.
Oh, we've been there. It happens, and it sucks, and it's awful. It's bad while it's happening because life just kind of, you're just spinning your tires. You're not getting anywhere. Nothing good is happening. But then once you realize it, it's a whole lot of...
The wheels start to fall off.
They do. Well, it's a whole lot of, oh my God, we are there. How did this happen? How did you let this happen to us? Mm-hmm. This is your fault. You're not putting in enough effort. You're not doing enough things. What in the world is going on? And we start to point the finger. And that's
you.
It's a lot of you, and it's tough for us to turn the mirror on ourselves and look and see, how did I play a part in it? It's very, very difficult. It's very, very sad. So many people are living their marriages as roommates. We've each had roommates in our lives. Roommates are good for a short period of time when you're young. We need someone else to fill a room to pay the bills a little bit, someone to keep you company every now and again. They're fine in college and everything, but when you're older...
We don't really have relationships with people that we used to be roommates with. No, not really at all. But especially when you're married, you're in a committed relationship, you have kids, but then life just starts to happen. Mm-hmm. And yes, you're technically doing life together, but mentally, but are you?
Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, your intimacy's gone. you're miles and miles and miles apart. So I guess the big question is, why does this happen? How does this happen? What takes place in life for this to happen?
You get your priorities out of order.
Easily, you get your priorities way out of order. Things that shouldn't be important now become the top of the list because some
Spouse
things
gets the back seat.
Yes,
instead of that passenger seat right beside you.
Totally, and essentially, your spouse is getting what's left of you rather than the best of you. We should be giving our spouses our best, the very big first of us. The absolute best goes to them, and then everything else goes to everyone else. But what we typically do is, well, I did this, and I had to work, and I had to take the kids here, and we had this event, and this thing scheduled, and this party, and this going on. Okay, here you go, baby. This is all I've got left. And where you recognize this is most of your conversations turn logistical. Like, well, Elkie's got this going on, and then Cash has this going on. I didn't make sure that I'm here by this time. So how are we getting this kid to this? And how are we going to do this? And hey, did you make sure that you picked this up? Or hey, did you make sure you got the dog here? Hey, can you stop by the grocery store? And those are what most of your conversations are about.
When it gets to that point, yes.
It does.
Because it doesn't matter about how their day went. Because you don't care. Because you're too worried about who's taking this child to basketball or this child to dance or this one needs to go to this friend's house. We have a birthday party here. Well, you suffer through that and I'll take the dog to the vet. That type of stuff.
And that's where so much of the conversation happens. It's just how can we make sure we get through this day alive? And we don't forget anything or anybody.
Nobody gets hurt.
How do we just survive this day, and nothing else really matters? The physical affection, it just becomes a formality of it all. I mean, just before
non-existent.
Even just before we started recording, we were upstairs, and I was coming down. I gave you a kiss, and you're like, "Ew."
So don't kiss me like that.
Don't kiss me like that. That seemed like it was just because you had to, and it wasn't intentional at all. So we made sure we corrected that very, very quickly, and you felt much better about that. Simple things like you can't remember the last time you laughed with each other.
Ooh,
I think that's a big thing, and we laugh a ton. Like you and I probably.
I couldn't imagine not laughing.
No, I mean we laugh probably more than one should.
Probably.
And it's because we have
But laughter is the best medicine.
Yes, it is.
And we're going to have the worst wrinkles when we get old because we do laugh so much. And about anything and everything, especially our little inside stuff.
I say we have probably more little inside funnies and inside jokes than most people would ever have. And it doesn't
just me and you. It doesn't have to be anybody else involved.
It does not matter what the situation is, and we can be in the most serious of circumstances.
Like in church today.
One little thing can be said, and we won't mention what happened in church today. But one thing that can be said that is not silly to anyone else, but because you and I have some sort of inside joke, we have a hard time controlling ourselves.
Yep.
Where it's like, I cannot look at my wife right now. I will not. I'm not strong enough to withstand what's going to come out of me if I look at her. Just breathe. Just get through it. Just get through it. Happens all the time.
There's times where you even say, don't say it. Don't say it. Because I'm going to bust out laughing. No one else is going to have a clue what we're laughing at.
Be like, what's wrong with those two crazy people? What is happening over there? So I mean, laughing together is a huge sign of how connected that you are, I believe, because like I said, laughter is the absolute best medicine. Another big one, you spend time in the same house, but you are in totally different worlds. And this a lot has to do with where is our mind? What are we thinking about? Who are we thinking about potentially?
Said this. Oh,
we have,
right. But we've said this before. Are you sitting on the opposite sides of the couch scrolling through whatever?
Just scrolling phones.
Yeah.
One watching a show, one scrolling the phone. No intentional connection. No physical connection with each other whatsoever. Physical connection is completely MIA. It's non-existent. And these are little quick signs of things that can happen. And if you're hearing this and any of this resonates to you, it could mean that, hey, you're not fully in the roommate phase, but you could be drifting down that road. And if you're not careful, you could get to a point where you wake up one day and be like, ugh, why are we in the same bed with each other? Who in the heck are you? How in the world did we get to this point? So let's kind of discuss some of those big culprits, some of those big things. So if you're hearing some of that and you're recognizing some of that, here's a lot of the things that can happen whenever you recognize you're getting there. First thing is life just gets too loud.
Loud?
You've allowed life to get way too loud with just the busyness of the things and the busyness of life.
So
but
a different type of loud, not loud noises.
Not brick, not loud noises, but life just gets too loud because we're worried about the kids and the schedules and the bills and the bank accounts and keeping up with the Joneses. And we're worried about the loudness of life. And I kind of translate that to a lot that we talk about in church, especially when it comes to 21 days of prayer and fasting, that it's not to be legalistic, but it's to turn down the volume of the world, turn up the voice of God. Well, the same can be true for you and your spouse. Mm-hmm. Turn down the volume of the world, all the stuff going on, the things at work, turn that down and try to turn up the volume of your spouse.
Yeah. I mean, it takes 3 weeks to get into a routine and 3 days to break one.
It's so quick and so easy.
But that makes me think if things are loud in a sense, the devil is here to kill, steal, and destroy. And if the devil can't get you, he's going to keep you busy. Those are all distractions from what you need to be focused on.
Hi, this is Ashley T. Lee Podcast. Join me to hear the Bible read line by line and clearly explained. Listen to the Word of God in your car or home or work while it transforms your mind daily. Romans 12:2 says, "Don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what the will of God is, which is good and acceptable and perfect." Knowing the Bible can give you peace and joy in this hectic world. Listen weekly to Ashley T. Lee Podcast on all podcast sites.
Totally agree. Where everything else is a priority and your relationship is towards the bottom.
I'm going to fill all the nooks and crannies and the cracks and the creases with things that don't matter, but they're a nuisance, so you have to do them, which takes you away from maybe your devotions, your spouse, your kids. We got to make sure all the things are done.
And that's one of the lies that we believe. That because we're full of cracks and crevices and creases and just we're trying everything we can to fill in the gaps to make us feel whole and fulfilled. And what do?
Chasing that happiness.
We're chasing. You're right. Chasing happiness. Happiness is fleeting. You will never achieve true happiness. That's where sin comes into the world because I'm chasing it. And let's be real. Sin.
You're just chasing a dopamine hit.
It is. Sin is great and it's fun and it feels good.
That's why it's so easy.
And it's so easy. And if you don't think sin is fun and feels good, you're probably doing it wrong. But it does. And it's fun and it's great for a moment. And then immediately
you start to feel bad.
You start to feel regret. You start to feel shame and guilt and you feel empty again. So what do? I have to go chase more of this. Only true joy comes from the Lord, and that true joy can come in a relationship. I know it has for you and I. With you in my life, I'm full of joy, and I think you're a big reason for that. You're not the sole reason for that, but you are a huge, important part of that. And without you, that joy would be so hard to actually obtain. And of course, we'll get that from the Lord, but you play a huge part in that for me. So life gets too loud sometimes. Stress and burnout causes that to happen where, like I said earlier, you're giving your spouse just what you got left. And I know for some days I've got like 2% left in me and you're picking up the rest of it. And I know some days, especially softball season and everything going on, you ain't got a whole lot left in you. But I'm here to pick that up. And it's not that you're giving me only that you have left, because you've given me your absolute best throughout the day. You're communicating with me constantly throughout the day. When I don't get text message from you, I'm like, what the world is going on?
Are you okay?
What is her problem? Is she out with her boyfriend today?
Lies.
I'm just kidding. I have pulled that joke before.
What?
Like you're not answering your phone and you finally call me back. What you been doing? Talking to your boyfriend? It's a total joke.
Yes.
But I mean, it happens. Another thing that can happen, and one of the reasons this is a culprit, is your personal growth
Okay.
becomes a priority before your spouse's growth.
Whoa. You're here to serve, not get served.
So explain that a little bit.
Well, I'm not here to just get stuff from you. I'm here to serve you. That's why God made a helper for Adam. It wasn't good. So he had to create Eve for Adam to be a helper. It doesn't say that God was making Eve to be Adam's slave. It was a helper. And God saw that it was good. Yeah. They worked well together. They're not just you aren't just to be giving me all the things and me just taking it and not giving anything back.
Totally agree.
It's the reap what you sow kind of thing.
Yes. And
for those that might not understand karma, what you put in is what you get out.
Totally. You do. You reap what you sow. And for us, we're supposed to be sowers. We sow into people's lives, but we sow into our spouse's lives, and it's reciprocal. And it's totally dead on. We are here to serve each other. If you don't do anything, the biggest thing you should ever try to outdo your spouse in is outdo your spouse in serving one another. That's it. And if you are both intentionally trying to outserve one another, watch out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the greatness that your marriage will be if you're just trying to outserve each other. Holy smokes.
And I wouldn't even think of it as an outserve each other. Oh, I got to serve. Because sometimes that even sounds like, oh, I got to do this for them. I got to do that. It sounds.
Well, when you're trying to do that, you want to do that.
Exactly.
For your spouse. I get to do this for you.
Yes,
and that's the mentality
it's
you
a
have
love thing. It's absolutely love. Because if you love them as much as you say you love them, doing all of those things for them, it's not a chore. It's not a job. It's not a serve. I got to do this. It's I can do this. I get to do this. I want to do this. I know you can, but I want to. That's what I get from you all the time. Sit down, woman. I know you want to do this, but I got you.
I love doing things for you.
Sometimes it gets annoying.
I know, and I'm not really that sorry. But I do. I love being able to make you dinner and clean up, and you just sit and relax. Any chance I get where I could just pamper you in any way, that brings me incredible joy.
And I know there's probably a female listening and going, oh my God, how are you saying that is annoying?
Probably.
Because I am spoiled, and I know it. And I do not whatsoever take any of that for granted. Our kids even know that I'm spoiled. They see how you treat me, and they are treating the same way.
Yes, they are. And the goal is that, especially for our son, one, that when he grows up and he finds a wife, that he will treat her the exact same way. And for our daughter, that she will find a man who will treat her the exact same way. Mm-hmm. You are a gift from God to me, and I better cherish that with everything I've got. That's how I see this. That's how I see you. So that's a huge thing. One other way, and this is always just a lack of intentionality, just not intentionally putting each other, in the forethought of our minds and what we do and wanting to be around each other and spending that intentional time of being with each other. That I don't care what else is going on. I need to spend time with you. So incredibly important for us to be able to do that. So you recognize that. You hear some of these things like, yeah, maybe us. Yeah, we're going through this. Yeah, life's gotten loud. There's stress and burnout, and I am worried about my career, and we don't spend much time with each other. So how do you begin to shift gears and get out of this roommate phase and turn back into the soulmate phase? As always, this should be the theme of everything that we do. You've got to talk about it. You've got to have open dialogue about it. So many bloody problems could be solved if we would just open up our mouths and we would just speak.
How did I know you were going to say that?
Because it is the number one problem of any couple. And it all centers around that. I mean, we've talked to couples where there's money issues. There's splitting the duties issues in the house. You
said duties.
Inside joke. Can't not laugh. But there's splitting the household chores and how to maintain the house. There's talks about careers. There's parenting problems, kid problems.
His family has issues. Her family has issues.
Those issues, friends issues, expectation issues, sex issues. We've seen it all. We've heard it all.
All the shoes.
All those shoes. You have so many shoes.
Not those kind of shoes.
No, but you have so many shoes.
I do have so many SHOES.
Yes,
shoes.
I bought most of them for you too. But that's okay. But you have all these issues and everyone thinks that that's the problem. But anyone we've ever talked to, when you break it all down,
to ask the why. But why is it like this? But why? But why? When you finally can't answer that why, it's well, we don't really talk about it.
And
my goodness.
It always points to, well, we haven't really talked about it at all.
I don't know why. It's just never brought up. But why not?
And that's a whole conversation for another day.
Because I'm afraid of what he might say.
I'm
afraid of what she might yell at me. I don't want to let this person down. It doesn't matter what you are afraid of.
And you know what always happens?
Nothing.
Not even that. I was afraid to bring it up because how she might react. I was afraid of what she might think about me. I was afraid of whatever. And then her thought, and it goes both ways, is, oh my God, I was wanting to talk about the same things. It's been on my mind constantly.
But I thought you were going to react a different way. And I was afraid to say this. You're both afraid.
You're both afraid. And then you realize, oh my gosh, I've been wanting to talk to you about this forever, but I was afraid about it. And I didn't know what you would think about me. And if I would have known, we could have talked about this a long time. That's always, always, always the story. Now, when you're beginning to talk about each other, or not about each other.
I hope not.
Well, I'm sure it happens.
I'm sure that's a reason.
But when you begin to talk this out with each other and you recognize what's going on, the key is, there's a key in how you're going to approach this. No you statements, we statements. No, like, why don't you do this for me anymore? Mm-hmm. Instead of, hey, I really miss this part of our relationship. I really experienced this with our relationship.
And that can go for anything, not just a relationship, marriage. I preach this to the softball team. Like the girls there's 9 on the field, right? I got 9 on the field and I have a handful in the dugout. It chaps my butt when I hear the girls in the dugout. You got 1. You can do this. You need 2 more outs. No, you don't. We need it. I say you. And that questioned me because why do you say you? I'm not on the team. I'm not going to say we got this. We got this. No, because I'm not part of the team. I'm just a coach for the team. We is what you need to change your verbiage to. Relationships, whatever you're a part of, whether it's work, your kids, your marriage, figuring out finances, your account's this way, mine, and then we have ours. No. We. Turn your me into we.
That's it. We before me. 100% of the time, we before me. And then there's also this, you have to turn the mirror on yourself. You have to do some self-reflection and truly ask yourself and honestly ask yourself the questions. Have I stopped pursuing my spouse?
Ooh.
Have I stopped making them feel loved? Have I stopped making them feel wanted? What did I do to play a part in this? Am I emotionally available to my spouse? Am I
because
there
that
for my
is so
spouse?
easy to turn around and say, well, you haven't done anything for me lately. He just sits over there and looks at his phone. He doesn't give me any attention. Girl, guess what? you doing the same thing.
It's like, for a man, and that's a normal conversation for many, I'm sure. Well, he doesn't do this. He's just doing this. He's lazy. But the amount of times maybe before that where he put in the efforts and he was shut down or was told that wasn't good enough, or, well, why'd you do that and not this, or that's not what I wanted, or not, whatever it may be. Men especially, we can only be shut down so many times before we shut down.
Don't even attempt to do it again.
And it's over. It's like, why would I worry with doing that? It's not worth it, because all I'm going to get done is yelled at, told it wasn't good enough, told how wrong I was. Why would I put myself out there to even be that vulnerable? And then we'll shut down completely. Another one is, what kind of energy am I bringing into the relationship?
Ooh.
How much effort am I putting into it?
You also have to think like this. Is that energy you're bringing in all the negative?
We feed off each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take long for, if one of us comes in with a negative attitude, negative energy,
it's going to spread like a wildfire.
It does. But if one of us is down and the other one comes in up, it can change everything. Mm-hmm. It can change so quickly. And if your spouse is like that, if they are negative and down, how quickly things can change with just a long hug. I mean, something
make it last longer than 8 seconds.
Simple. Yes, make it last longer than 8 seconds, or just a simple, just that touch, just saying, "Hey, I'm here." I know for me, if I've had a rough day or whatever, you can just come up, you can just kind of put your arm around me, you can hug me, you can just touch my shoulder or something like that, and the weight of the world just disappears. And it's like, because there's a knowledge there. She's here. She's with me. She's on my side. And no matter what, she's still here. And that's all that really matters. Mm-hmm. And that's what gets us through. So what are 3 quick ways to be able to move from roommate back to romantic partners? Prioritize the internal connection. Make time as much as you can, preferably every single week, to actually date your spouse.
Remember why you wanted to be married in the first place.
Exactly.
Why did you pick this one?
Remember that first time you saw her, man.
Maybe some people can't do that. Well, we got married because, I knocked her up.
But
there's a reason why you wanted to knock her up in the first place.
There's still a reason to it. So make that a priority. And date night can be so simple.
Easy.
It does not have to be.
We just go to the basement and turn on the TV, watch a show, snuggle up under a blanket. Our legs are usually tangled like a pretzel. Just sitting there with each other.
Yes. And that can be it. And it's so easy. It's so simple.
You don't even have to leave the house.
Don't have to leave the house. You can just turn something on. You can just spend time together. The phones are put away. The kids will come down.
Intentional.
It's just intentional. So prioritize that intentional connection with each other. Make it a priority, at least a minimum of 1 day a week. We do every opportunity we get. And typically, every single night, and even if it's just a quick half hour or so, we are just you and I, very intentional with each other, where you are the only thing in the world that matters at this moment. I'm going to make sure that you know it. So that's one way. Create a safe space for conversation is another.
Yes.
Open, honest, non-judgmental communication, because I know I can come to you about any little thing in the world or huge thing in the world, no matter how bad or how good or how wild or how crazy. It doesn't matter. I can come to you and you're going to take it in, and you may think, what is his freaking problem? But he's my husband and I love him. And if this is what he's thinking, if this is what he feels, I'm with him.
Yes.
And we will work through this and get through this or experience this. We will do this together. Doesn't matter.
If I can do a classroom full of 11th graders who refuse to read out loud, and I start the class off with, all right, we have a passage to read right now, and then we're going to answer questions together after this passage. But the only work that you're going to get to do, because I'm going to help you with the right answers, you are going to read. And of course, no one wants to read out loud. There's a handful in all the classes combined that will, yes, please, I volunteer. Nobody wants to read out loud. But I preface this with this is a non-judgmental reading zone. Whether you can read, you stutter, you don't know the words, you say the wrong words, you can't pronounce the words, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you read fast. I don't care if you read slow. As long as we get it done, that's all that matters. It has been life-changing for these kids. Even the ones that would never read ever are like, yeah, I'll do one. I'll just here, break down this paragraph. If it's too long, just stop. Tell me, and we'll stop there and somebody else can pick up. The kids that you would never think that would want to read out loud are the ones doing that, because I tell them it's the non-judgmental reading zone.
Well, when
you do that with a relationship and you need to talk about things, you have to say, all right, this is non-judgmental. And when you say those words, you have to mean it. This isn't I'm listening and I'm saying that because I want you to say what you need to say, but I'm going to judge you and I'm going to go off on you. No.
Because I will say this, the moment you do that and you do judge and go off, you will never get them to open up ever again. It's over.
You can kiss that goodbye.
That door is shut. It's locked. It's cemented up. It will never open again. So you have to create that safe space. Mm-hmm. You have to ask the questions. You have to be intentional with it and ask them, hey, check in. How you feeling? What's going on? Be intentional with it.
Don't just say, I'm fine.
Yeah, because that's always a lie. That is always a lie. So create a safe space. And then lastly, you got to rekindle physical touch and intimacy. Like you said, we will sit and we're under a blanket. Legs are touching. We're touching in some way because it's one of the 5 love languages. It may be high, it may be low, but it's still there and it's still important. And just as simple as a touch, holding hands, putting your arm around each other, touching each other's leg, playing footsie with each other, any of that can go such a long way.
Yep.
I know for us, just personally speaking, I mean, when our legs touch and you begin to rub my foot or something like that, or rub the back of my head, you get butterflies in your stomach a little bit, and it sparks something in you that quickly it's like, ooh, okay, I like that. That feels good, and just so fast and so quickly.
But you also have to tell each other if that's not something that you like. There have been, like the kiss earlier today, I was like, no, that is disgusting. That's a gross kiss. If you're going to kiss me, you better kiss me right. I'm not afraid to say that. Mostly because you're not going to go, well, deal with it. I'm not kissing you again. Mostly because I know I'm going to get me a real good kiss after that.
I'm thinking, I got the opportunity to kiss her again. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But let's go. I haven't told you in the past, don't hug me like that. Ew. I don't like the way you don't touch me that soft. You better touch me like you mean it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't like how they're doing a certain thing, there's that non-judgmental thing. Hey, I don't like it when you just hold my pinky.
Yes.
I don't want to just be pinky friends.
That's gross. Say that. And if
that doesn't mean that that's going to hurt their feelings.
No.
That means you are letting them know.
Well, you're communicating to them, hey, I don't like that. But hey, I really like this.
That's how you finish it.
Yes.
But when you do it this way, I love that.
Yeah, I like
so expect to get that over what you don't like. So if you don't like it, let them know.
I don't like this. When you touch me like that, changes the absolute game. So if this is you, if you find yourself going from soulmates to roommates, there's ways to recognize it. There's ways for you to be able to correct it and move past it and get back to be who you are supposed to be. But if you do find yourself there, no, you're not doomed. You are not broken. It is not over.
It is fixable.
Every couple goes through this at some point in time. Obviously, there's different levels of that, but everyone goes through this. You just have to be open enough to recognize it, admit that, hey, we're not going down this great path, and be able to go and correct it and do it together because you're here for each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, any final thoughts, baby?
That's good.
That's very good. Very good. Hopefully, it resonates with somebody.
Maybe it'll help.
I hope it helps with somebody. Listen, if this is you, let us know. We'd love to hear these stories. If this is anybody, we would love to hear the story of, hey, I'm going through this right now. What can we do? Or, hey, we did go through this, and here are the things that we did, and this is where it took us from here to here. Those stories are amazing, and those are stories that need to be told so other people will know, oh, crap, they did that? Another couple went through this, and they got through it. We're going through it. Those change everything for so many people.
It does.
So hopefully this helps. Let's get out of here.
Let's go.
Let's go. God, we love you. God, we are so thankful for what you do. We're thankful for this platform that you have given us, and pray that we will just use it how you want it. God, pray that it reaches the ears that need to hear it, reaches the people that need to hear it in the right moments that they need to hear it, where it can be impactful for them. God, we pray that what we do can point people to you, no matter how silly it may seem or be, that in some way it points people back to you, because this is what it's all about. And you're the reason that we have this. You're the reason that we have each other. And God, we just thank you so much for that. We never want to take it for granted. Just thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Play ball.